I'm Steve Wiggins, and this is the Groundworks Ministries podcast. Now, today we're reading from the book of Hebrews, chapter 9. Let's focus on verses 27 and 28. And just as it has been appointed for people to die once, and after this judgment, so also the Messiah, having been offered once to bear the sins of many, will appear a second time, not to bear sin, but to bring salvation to those who are waiting for him. Now, the concept of reincarnation, well, that's attractive to a lot of people who are in some measure discontented with this life, which is to say it's attractive to most people. And understandably so. It satisfies deep romantic needs to suppose that in a past life that one might have been, maybe I'm nothing now, but in the past life I might have been something or someone important. Moreover, reincarnation builds upon a notion which is not biblical, that only the soul is pure and the body is unclean and inferior and unworthy of being immortal. But God has so organized the universe that human beings die once, not many times. And the first half of today's passage refutes the idea of reincarnation, which is found in most Eastern religions. I'm sure it was prevalent in the pagan religions in the days of the Bible. And they were incorporated into a number of Western imitations. So reincarnation is based on a notion that although the body is obviously mortal, the soul is not. And so after one's body dies, the soul that was in it migrates, perhaps after an interval of time, into another body or to some other organism. Obviously, if God had appointed for mankind to die once, then it is impossible to be reincarnated. You may say, well, but what about people who were clinically dead and yet they were revived by some medical procedure? Didn't they die twice? Well, in short, no, they didn't. What modern medicine calls impossibly dead, that is to be beyond recovery, is in no way limiting to God. He's not limited by the world's terminology and their restrictions. The only time that we are inches from death is when we are actually inches from death. All other times we just thought we were inches from death. Plus, when those people are revived, they're never revived to another body or to a butterfly or a mongoose or something, right? The second half of today's passage deals with Jesus's first and second comings. Now, his first coming was in relation to Isaiah 53, the suffering servant who would atone for sin. You see, being fully God and yet fully man, Jesus, too, as a man, was appointed to die only once. Good for us that he was blameless before the Lord, for he was the Lord himself, because once was all that it took to atone for the sin of the world. So by virtue of his sinless perfection, and that while he knew no sin, he became the sin offering for us, Jesus rose from the grave so that he could appear a second time. Now, what's addressed in today's chapter is this second coming fulfills prophecies in Isaiah chapter 2 and Isaiah chapter 9, which say that the Messiah will bring peace to the world and deliver his people Israel from oppression. Speaking of Israel, Paul wrote in Romans 9:6 that not all who are descended from Israel are Israel. What does that mean? Well, only those who believe in Jesus and are saved can eagerly await Jesus' return. For only they have the assurance that they will be delivered in his second coming. Are you ready? If you'd like to know more about the gospel, there's a great presentation of it on our website, groundworksministries.com. Hey, I'm Steve Wiggins, and this is the Groundworks Ministries podcast. Now, Groundworks Ministries operates entirely through financial donations from faithful people just like you. And yes, we need your monthly support. We really do. Donating is secure and it's easy at our website, groundworksministries.com. You know another way to help? Tell people about Groundworks Ministries. You can share these podcasts with friends, share them with your family, post them on your social media. Of course, you can always direct folks to our website, once again, groundworksministries.com.